Welcome to Season 4 of eCommerce Fastlane. This podcast helps resilient entrepreneurs thrive with Shopify. And now, on to episode 186.
You're listening to eCommerce Fastlane, the podcast show to help you build, manage, grow, and scale a successful and thriving company, powered by Shopify. Listen to real conversations with partners and subject matter experts as they share proven practical strategies, platforms, and the best Shopify apps to help you accelerate your business. The time is now for you to improve efficiencies, grow revenue, profit, and lifetime customer loyalty. Please welcome your host, startup founder, and strategic advisor, Steve Hutt.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Frontend, a powerful storefront solution from the team at Shogun. If you're tuned into the e-commerce space, and you likely are since you're a subscriber here at eCommerce Fastlane, you've no doubt heard about going headless or building a headless commerce storefront. And if you've gone as far as exploring some of these headless solutions, you know there's an incredible amount of info to wade through and to consider when making a storefront pivot. You may have heard that headless commerce means a move from a commerce-led to a content-led solution, or maybe you've heard that it represents a lean-in more towards an API-first approach. Either way, and as with any largely uncharted territory, it can be hard to work out what's growing faster, the technology or the terminology. The great thing about headless commerce is that it can get your Shopify store to load incredibly fast, eliminate the compromises when it comes to your brand's look and feel. You get full front-end control and flexibility, which will help you convert more of your website visitors. Amazing brands like Groove Life, Nomad, OneBlade, and so many more have taken their storefronts headless using Shogun's front-end platform. You can increase your conversion rate with a less than 1 second page load, and more importantly, you can empower your e-commerce team to manage content more efficiently with Shogun front-end. They truly are the next generation in e-commerce experience platform. Request a demo and see what this front end can do for your Shopify brand. You can check them out at getshogun.com. That's GETSHOGUN, getshogun.com/front end for more details. Well, hey there, it's Steve, and welcome back to the eCommerce Fastlane podcast. Now, if this is your first time listening, this is an e-commerce show where we have honest and transparent conversations about building and thriving with your store powered by Shopify or Shopify Plus. If you're an ambitious lifelong learner, which you probably are since you're here today, you're definitely in the right place. I have new episodes and they come out twice weekly, and you can use it with your favorite podcast players like Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, and many more. You can also stream current episodes, including a very relevant back catalog. I think I'm up to 186 some episodes now. So you can go check out ecommercefastlane.com and you can stream them directly from there. A lot of partners in the Shopify ecosystem, different offers, and some great learnings there. So go check that out. Now, in today's episode, my guest is Lisa, who's the co-founder and COO of a company called Cartloop. That's Cartloop, cartloop.io. And they're a conversational SMS marketing tool, and what they do is they help direct-to-consumer Shopify brands and Shopify Plus brands, and what they do is they help drive more revenue and connect with customers through one-on-one conversations. Now, I know we've probably heard this before. This is very, very unique. It's the first time I've had an SMS founder on who has the technology more than just kind of automation through SMS and through campaign building. It's a very, very unique solution. And so we all know the power of SMS from a cart recovery and different kinds of campaigns. The Cartloop solution is very unique. So I please welcome Lisa to the show so we can learn more about the product that she's building today.
Hey, Steve. Thanks for the invite.
My pleasure. So SMS is definitely on top of a lot of people's radar. Like we know from an email perspective, like that's the number one, like that's this owned meat. You have to own the customer, either the known or the unknown customer. And email has been around for 20 some years, and that seems to be the tried and true. But now, as of late, SMS is such a massively growing industry where people always, like me, have my phone right beside me. And yes, I also have my Gmail on my phone, but maybe I'm not getting any notifications. But if it's SMS, it's more personal and it seems like you're more apt to grab your phone quickly to see who's just texted me. And a lot of people follow a lot of really great brands. They want to get notifications of drops. Maybe even they forgot something in their cart. But a lot of them are kind of, I would say, almost a little bit disingenuous a bit, maybe from a brand's perspective to a potential customer, because you can tell it's a little bit automated and a little bit bottish. I know that's not what you do. And so I would love to hear a little bit on a high level first about Cartloop and some of the problems that you're solving today for Shopify store owners.
Definitely. So Cartloop is a conversational SMS marketing platform that helps DTC brands and e-commerce businesses drive revenue and scale their customer relationships through one-to-one conversations. The problems that we solve right now is that we help brands connect with their audience on a one-to-one level through SMS. Consumers are less responsive to traditional marketing, and brands are facing high competition, especially due to changes that Apple and Google brought to the table. So what Cartloop does is bridging the gap between brands and consumers by going beyond just automations and chatbots and so on, and actually the traditional marketing strategies. Our customers are craving that human element, same as the shoppers do. And what conversational SMS does, specifically Cartloop, is that it brings a real world experience of being in a store to the online medium. Yeah, we're just trying to enhance the customer experience and create memorable shopping experiences.
No, and I love that part because I think that's the unique part. I mean, yes, there are some ways through automation and bots to kind of maybe semi-replicate the communication, the dialogue between a brand owner and a potential customer or a current customer. Nothing gets in the way of an actual human being who actually is doing the communicating. And I think that's what's unique about Cartloop that I want to make sure we dig into in a few minutes. But let's kind of talk a little bit about your journey, because I think it's fascinating to me, like why people build what they build. And, I'd love to understand a little more about what you believe uniquely positions you and I guess, and the founding team to build Cartloop. I mean, just think about where did this desire to want to build a SaaS company to help brands, and where did all this expertise come from to have the engineering to even want to build this thing? So I just would love to hear that story.
Yeah, absolutely. So Cartloop is founded by a team of e-commerce operator, mostly my co-founder Andre and I. We were merchants ourselves. So we started on Shopify, building our own brands and then selling them to build something bigger that would have a higher impact on more people, not just ourselves and, our shoppers. And we started our e-commerce journeys together. Actually, I was studying medicine. My background is very non-stereotypical. I was studying medicine and I got into e-commerce just to have like a side gig, a side hustle while studying medicine and to earn, my own money. So that's how I started. I became super passionate about the space. I became super passionate about tech as well. So I decided in 2018, I said, okay, something is missing from the dedication that I should have towards medicine, and I have to make a decision. So I decided, okay, I will graduate and then I will go all in with, co-founding Cartloop. So this is how it started. And the idea for Cartloop was born out of three main reasons. So first, while we were running our stores, we were very frustrated about the amount of abandoned carts that we were getting. So we were manually gathering our phone numbers from our shoppers from our Shopify accounts, and we were texting them via WhatsApp in a very friendly and personal way, trying to figure out what was the reason behind their abandoning. And the reply rate was great. We saw huge potential in this approach. This was like a turning point for us where we said, hey, this is something that's working and we should dive deeper into this kind of approach and see how we can make it scalable. Then the second reason was us not wanting to rely on external marketing channels such as Facebook. In 2018, we had the bad luck of Facebook shutting down all our business accounts. So we were, most of our marketing efforts were relying on Facebook. So that was like another turning point for us where we said, okay, we don't want to rely on external marketing channels anymore. And we want to start creating strategies on channels that we can own, such as email marketing, SMS marketing, and so on. And the third one, which was last year when we started, we saw this trend in SMS marketing. It was getting more and more popular. However, there was a gap in the space, and that was the lack of one-to-one communication. So everything, most tools were fully focused on automation, and there was zero to none personal interaction and real-time interaction. So these were the three main reasons why we decided to do this.
Yeah, I know. I love this part. I wrote these down. I think a lot of people build a lot of things just out of their own personal frustrations. A lot of tools and founders that I have, they say, you know what, this was the problem that I had, and we built it in-house for ourselves, or this was the problem that we were trying to solve. They go ahead and build it. And this is exactly what you did. I guess never really thought about the actual SaaS solution to have a wider scale to other operators in the Shopify world. But frustration is there. Having reliance only on net new visitors through Facebook and Instagram can be costly. And in your case, getting things shut down. And then I totally agree with you that, as a decent starting point, I think automation is kind of a necessary kind of table stakes, so to speak, to get things going. If it's, a cart recovery through email, hey, I think you left something in your cart, or hey, we're having some trouble checking out, and these kind of like basic automation things, and try your best to kind of, have the right brand voice around it. But I know that with your solution, it's very unique because there's an actual human being like you did originally trying to get your head wrapped around why it is that people are not converting on your brand. It's the same kind of process you have now with Cartloop by actually having people from within your organization who speak and chat on behalf, like through SMS, on behalf of a brand to help them along their journey as to why they are, potentially abandoning their cart, and try to get them to come back to the store, but building this personal relationship, this community around the brand. So I just would love to maybe unpack that a little bit more about your approach. I mean, I kind of gave it a little bit that there's humans behind the brands that get involved with Cartloop to help them nudge their customers along a bit. But just I'd love to learn a little more about your approach, or maybe your advantage versus maybe some of these automation tools that are out there.
Yeah, definitely. So I would say the most unique part about Cartloop is the fact that we have humans behind every single conversation, and our ability to scale the conversational SMS channel without losing the human touch, as opposed to an automated focused one that fails to build those one-to-one relationships and deliver sustained growth. Because every SMS tool, either it's automated or conversational, at first might have impactful results, but it might be only for the short term. So I always say to people, there's a thin line between annoying your customers and actually delighting them. And that's why, you have to pay super careful attention on how you're using SMS marketing and make sure you're using it the right way. And, the other SMS players have great products, but they are a completely different category. They are SMS automation tools. Right. Any merchant can essentially build a chatbot which replies based on scenarios. But if the customer asks something that's out of the script, it will be lost. So you can lose that customer. Right. And Cartloop is an SMS conversational marketing tool, and it solves the same problem, but in a different way. Right. Your customers can have an actual conversation that is relevant to their needs, and there are no dead ends, and provides a much better user experience and, results. I like this comparison that one of our team members told me when they got to the team. So if you were comparing a Toyota with a Tesla, they both will get you where you need to go, right, but the experience is completely different. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to conversion and retention, experience is the one that actually matters. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's get into a story now, because I think people really do get inspired a bit about maybe others in the Shopify world, other entrepreneurs, other brand owners. They're always like, hey, I see the value in having SMS. I see the value in actually having a human being be able to communicate on behalf of myself. And that's certainly a scalable way other than automation tools and things, which is maybe a starting point, but not really a true brand building kind of experience. Because I really feel that this educates all of us, inspires all of us. And I think that education and that inspiration, I think, can really help motivate change in those that are listening today. And so just would love to have maybe a recent journey or something you could share about a Shopify brand that is maybe didn't implement Cartloop at the beginning, learned about you, and then what was the outcome based on getting involved with your organization?
Absolutely. I've been running customer interviews every single week in the past 2 months, and it's been amazing. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I actually also wrote a case study after talking to Sarah, one of our merchants she has a jewelry brand called Belle Fever. So I related very much to Sarah because she basically stumbled across the same issues that Andre and I did when we were merchants. So she said that her marketing efforts were relying too much on external channels, such as Facebook. And they were experimenting with a bunch of apps, and it all became very costly and pretty risky. So what she said is they taken a step back this year and realized they should look into other tools and solutions that are more sustainable. So they decided to adopt different channels and just build a holistic strategy. And then they found Cartloop. And what Sarah loved about Cartloop is that, I'm quoting, "It wasn't just robotic. We don't want our customers to feel like a number. We don't want just automated messages. And we wanted to still feel like it was human. So customers didn't even know that they were talking to a bot." So when she saw Cartloop and spoke to one of our customer success managers, who said to her, "Actually, Sarah, we use real people. We have real humans that are talking to your shoppers." Sarah said that really ticked one of her boxes. So that's when she started, seeing that there are actual more sustainable solutions to grow your audience and to turn, one-time customers into loyal advocates, basically.
Right.
And yeah, she had amazing performance. Her ROI is like 21x ROI. Her conversion rates are amazing. She grew over 30,000 active subscribers in the past months. And the fact that I have here, so I asked her, "Sarah, what do you feel are the biggest benefits that Cartloop brings to you?" And she said, first of all, it would be the conversational insights, because our team of people, from every single conversation, they are gathering feedback. So, if they see some complaints or if they see some issues, they will get that feedback. And, merchants such as Sarah can view it in their Cartloop dashboards. And she said that, "I love the fact that we can actually give feedback on the conversations, and we can also receive feedback from our customers. So everything gets transparent, and it helps us, adjust our business." And also, Sarah was pretty novice when it comes to SMS marketing. And at Cartloop, another one of our unique advantages is that everything, like let's say 90%, it's done for you. We have a team of dedicated account managers who help you during the onboarding, who help you with campaigns, setting up your messaging, making sure that the tone of voice of our agents is on point. And basically, they do everything for you. So she said that she loves the expertise behind Cartloop and just being guided through the entire process. And also the fact that it releases her from that headache of managing people, managing her customer support team, because Cartloop also acts like an extension of their sales team. So I was super excited to hear this from her, and it's like so fulfilling to see that merchants and brands are actually seeing the value and are happy with the results, and their end customers are also satisfied.
Yeah, I love that. It's interesting, and I'm glad you brought that up about the brand voice and feeling that, Cartloop really was an extension of their brand. Because one of the things I was thinking of top of mind was, are there any verticals that maybe you don't do so well in, or can you pretty much any Shopify brand, is there going to be, a onboarding process with customer service agents inside your organization saying, "Hey, this brand wants to come on board. They're in the coffee replacement market and they have some kind of a product and different other products that go along with their coffee replacement, are they able to talk articulately enough as the brand owner on behalf of the brand? We're just curious on that, if there's any vertical restrictions, like can we do CBD and cannabis, any regulated market problems, or are there certain verticals you just feel that maybe we don't have skill sets, or are there some industries on the positive side, are there industries that you do really well in with Cartloop?
Yeah. So overall, there are no limitations when it comes to niches or industries. We have all kinds of industries. Basically, let's say that the best performing ones are consumer products like skincare or, nutrition, or like gadgets or fashion, where products, like people who go and look for those products might have a lot of questions. Let's say it's a skincare brand. Every single skin type is different. Every single person is different. So it's totally normal that every single shopper has different questions. So that's when having real people, replying in real time to those questions makes a whole of a difference, and a super big difference, because you have to be there for them and provide them the best information possible so they can trust you. But yeah, overall, there are no limitations. Maybe I would say, consumer products are the biggest percentage of our merchants right now, but I would recommend this approach to any kind of niche.
I see. And so I guess the onboarding process would be kind of a meet and greet of the brand and saying, yes, I want to try Cartloop out. I see that there's a gap in my marketing, and I believe this is going to be a differentiator for my brand versus my competitors, because I'm going to have this one-on-one relationship. Maybe walk us through what's the onboarding process look like so that the Cartloop team understands the brand that they've now taken in as part of their portfolio now.
Yeah, definitely. I actually jumped off a demo call earlier, and it was very interesting one, because the merchant, she actually experienced Cartloop as a shopper herself. So
Nice.
she abandoned a cart on a specific store, and then she forgot about her cart, and then she got a text, and it was conversational, and she started engaging with a real person, and she was like, is this a real solution that I could implement for my own business? And she was so fascinated, and she told me that she has this community of entrepreneurs she's part of. And she told me that she started asking everyone, do you know what tool this is? Is this possible? I've been talking to a real person. This is amazing. And actually she said that she didn't want to purchase, but she ended up purchasing just because she talked with a human via SMS. So that made super huge impact for her, and that's how she discovered Cartloop, by experiencing it herself.
Right.
And I was so happy hearing that. But to answer your question, so the onboarding is pretty simple. It doesn't take a long time. We are listed on the Shopify App Store, so it's a one-click installation. Mm-hmm. However, we like to to onboard our merchants ourselves and just make sure, we optimize their checkout, we optimize their privacy policy in order for them to be fully compliant. Mm-hmm. And then we make sure we send them an onboarding form where we ask a couple of questions, the most important ones, like shipping time, and what's your unique selling proposition, and any kind of detail that would help our agents better reply to their shoppers and better interact and provide the right information. Right. Also, we have an internal knowledge base in the Cartloop app where merchants can add updates, news at any point of time. So we are constantly updated. And for some of our growth and pro merchants, we provide dedicated account managers for them, and we create dedicated Slack channels where, again, there's a constant point of communication between our internal customer success team and their customer support team. So whenever, our agents need some guidance or have some questions, they will just hop into Slack, ask that question, get an answer, and get back to the shoppers. So there's always communication between us.
I love that. I love there's that kind of onboarding sequence and just, at the end of the day, because I think every brand is different, and people are going to be leery at the beginning, saying, if you have your own customer support team in house, there's like an audit trail of kind of the communication and things like that. But once you do the onboarding, and we can take those snippets and saying, hey, here's how we have communicated with your merchants. Is this on brand as you would have expected? And then and if not, then you make some tweaks to how you as the brand owner want the team over at Cartloop to be able to, communicate with your brand. So I think that's very interesting. Another thing I'm thinking about too is about how Cartloop makes money. So one side of it is that, when I actually go to the App Store, I can see that you can, pretty much can download it. There's a trial, and we'll talk about some options and things for people today. And, you have like a monthly plan and a pro plan. And so I guess you get paid based on impacting the bottom line, meaning a conversion. So it really is a pay to play, meaning I guess you pay a small monthly fee to get access to the platform, and having someone to be able to communicate on behalf of your brand to help, bring them over the line, so to speak, to convert. And then once that's converted, do you share in the upside of the conversion, and kind of like how do the numbers all play out?
Yeah, definitely. So we have a 14 days free trial where we send unlimited text for you. And after this period is over, Cartloop pricing is based on performance. So we take a revenue share on the generated sales and a monthly subscription. We have 3 plans. The first one, Essential, which we recommend to people who are new to SMS marketing, it's a risk-free plan, meaning it's $0 per month, so it's free. And we only get a 10% revenue share once that merchant starts being successful. So you're only paying for messages that convert. For example, if you're sending 10 messages, but only 1 converts, that's the only one you'll be charged for. And the other competitor apps are using a pay-per-message system, meaning that even if all 10 messages are not converting any sales, you'll still pay for them.
Right.
Yeah. And the other plans, which are, I would say, more convenient for, let's say, fast-growing brands or brands that are already familiar with SMS. They have more traffic. They have more abandoned carts. We take less of a revenue share, but there is a monthly subscription fee. So the growth has $49 per month plus 7%, and the Pro is $299 plus 3.5%.
I see. And then what about the brands that are listening today that are on Shopify Plus? Is there anything unique? I'm assuming they can go right into the Pro plan, or maybe there's some, potential some side offers for like really, really, really large scaling brands in the $1,500 million range. But I just wonder if there's anything specific that Shopify Plus brands get as it relates to your platform. Because we know on Shopify core plans, like let's say Shopify Advanced, it has a certain range of features available. But when you move up to Shopify Plus, you get, increased API calls, and you get, things like access to checkout.liquid. So you can actually enjoy the full checkout experience, and being able to put code and functionality in there. So I'm just curious if there's anything unique about Shopify Plus brands that choose to use Cartloop.
Well, depending on, our merchants' needs and their KPIs, we sometimes also provide custom plans. We do an analysis, we discuss, we do some discovery, we see what their goals are, what their KPIs, and we adjust the plan accordingly. Okay. However, there's nothing like, unique or specific that, like a general rule for Shopify Plus brands.
I see. Okay. I was just curious on that because, so I guess end of the day, it's all about getting a lead capture and understanding who they are, which brings me another great topic that I want to talk about. And I think one of the successes I see with a lot of notable app partners and platform partners in the Shopify ecosystem is how they play nicely with other pieces of technology. Because that's the first question that brands are going to ask me. Hey, great. Loved your conversation with Lisa on Cartloop. It sounds great. I have a bunch of other pieces of tech, like I have Gorgeous as my CRM or Zendesk or, Customer or Gladly or something. I use Klaviyo for email right now. I'm a subscription business, so I have Recharge. And so I'm on your integration pages right now, and I can see that, you appear to play nicely. I just would love to hear from you about Is this intentional to want to connect to existing pieces of tech, and then and why? And then, I guess, is this an ongoing process for you to try to find new integration partners to, I just make the overall customer experience great for both Cartloop customers and then the Shopify brands with existing tech stack?
Yeah, absolutely. Integrations are part of our current strategy and the future strategy. We have integrations with Klaviyo, help desks such as Gorgeous, Zendesk, Recharge, Carthook, and what's coming is Reamaze, Alloy Automation, Exit Intelligence, and a lot of other ones. We are prioritizing them based on the amount of requests that we get. For example, the most requested ones were, of course, with Gorgeous, with Zendesk, and Klaviyo. So merchants can seamlessly export data from one app to another. So, for example, if Cartloop merchants are using our pop-up, they can collect both email and phone numbers. So what they can do with those email addresses, and through a click of a button, they can send them to Klaviyo and then use them to create some nice email automations or newsletters, and vice versa. Same with Gorgeous. For example, when one of our agents is not entitled to answer a specific question, such as, when it comes to refunds or when it comes to something more that we're not really the ones who should reply to those questions. By a click of a button, we will send it to Gorgeous, to their customer support team. They will get the conversation. They can reply directly there with the shopper not even noticing that he has been transitioned or redirected to another support agent. And when they close that ticket in Gorgeous, the conversation will come back to Cartloop, and it will be resolved by our agents. So it's a seamless transition, and the shopper doesn't even notice that he or she has been, redirected and so on. So it's a constant point of communication, super seamless and super fast.
Wow, that's great. This is awesome. And I also see on the Shopify App Store too that there's a lot of offers, different types of rewards and things that are available for, for Cartloop customers, thinking about like Recart for Facebook Messenger kind of automation, and Shogun for, landing page building, LimeSpot for personalization, ShipBob. I mean, there's a whole list of different kinds of offers and rewards. Is this also very intentional to kind of align yourself and just, I guess, incentivize other notable partners in the ecosystem by offering some deals because you're a Cartloop customer?
Yeah. Partnerships is a huge part of our strategy and of Cartloop. We love our partners. That's why we launched the rewards program a couple of months back, and we partner up with a bunch of Shopify apps, and not only. So our merchants can take advantage. Maybe they're looking for a solution like for email or for, as you said, messenger marketing or for a help desk, but they're not sure what to use. And with those perks and exclusive deals that we offer there, it just makes their job much easier. Yeah. So, and we're constantly adding new partners to the rewards program. And we feel like it's such a value add to our merchants, and not just, we want to go beyond just SMS marketing. Of course, we're this is our focus, but we want to provide as much value to our merchants as possible.
Love it. Just going through the list here, and I would say more than 80%, I probably have interviewed most of these founders, but there's a few in here that I'm like, hey, wait a second. I haven't interviewed these people yet. So thank you for this list, because it's going to open up some conversations with a few other founders and kind of the problems that they're solving. So this is great. So I want to pivot a bit over, we're nearing the endish of the show, but Q4 holiday season, literally is around the corner. I mean, right now we're, here we are in the second week of September right now. It's back to school for most, at least in the North American market. And, and people are thinking a lot about this inevitable rush that's going to happen. Now with this Delta variant and all this craziness that's still going on with the pandemic, e-commerce is not going away. People know to shop early. We know there's a supply chain problem a little bit still just because of COVID, just production and shipping part of it. But I just would love to hear from your perspective a little bit about what are you recommending that a Shopify brand do today? It could be related to your platform and getting involved, or any other marketing strategy or business operation-y thing that you could think of that you believe could offer impact or help them today to have a successful successful Q4?
So I would say first, it depends. It depends. So if you haven't started SMS marketing, I would definitely recommend you start with a conversational way and just start growing your own audience. You will see long-term benefits if you approach it this way. And just make sure you meet your customers where they are at. Do not force them to, meet you in places they do not really spend time on. So if most of your audience is spending time on social media, just be present there. Or if they prefer text with them and just act like a human. Text your customers as you text your friends. Don't just rely on very impersonal messages or just blast that you send to your entire list. Segment your audience because each customer is different and should be treated differently. And just run customer interviews. See what your customers want. See where they're spending time. And see how they prefer communicating with you. What do they love about you? And then segment your audience accordingly. Like if we're talking SMS, just try to use open-ended questions and always initiate a conversations. Don't just go for the quick wins and just offer a deal, especially if you're not like super, discount focused. If you don't want to only, incentivize your customers and not actually offering like more value beyond just discounts. And mix it up. Your text should be a mix of awareness, promotional, nurturing, educational, interactive. Don't just use it as a transactional channel.
Yeah, no, just like be a human. Actually have a conversation. And just, I have a sign on my wall and it says, a proven method for increasing your income is just to care about people. Like literally just care about people. They've come to your website today. And that's one of the advantages, I think, of your platform is that, there's people on the other end in the Cartloop organization that truly care. I mean, they're incentivized to care, but, they're there when the customers are there. And, and this is the whole idea of, like I said, bringing them over the line a bit and helping them, understanding the return policy, understanding the benefits of the product, and just other complementary items and things. I think it's almost like having, someone in retail. Like what would someone in retail do if you walked into a store and you're just about to leave,
yes,
or you have a couple items in your hand and you're like, oh, I see you're looking at that. Have you looked at this over here? Yeah, the mannequin is set up with that exact same shirt and we decided to add these accessories on it. And you want to have a look at those? Like at least because it is overwhelming in going into a retail location. It's also overwhelming for lots of people that go to an e-commerce store and they're like, yeah, I'm looking at, whatever, I'm looking for a new hoodie or I'm looking for something. And then all of a sudden, maybe you just get overwhelmed or busy. Whereas now if there's an SMS option and you can start communicating, it's almost like guided selling almost, to be honest with you. So we are nearing the end of the show for today, and you've shared a lot of great knowledge. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to take you up on this offer of at least checking out what Cartloop is and see how they can get it added on to their, their existing tech stack and part of their operations of their business because, one-on-one communication is definitely the key. It's difficult to be scalable, but you've ironed all of that out through technology and staffing. So inside your organization. So I think just alleviates one less stress from a founder that, you're there to take care of them, but just would love, if you have any insights or any kind of final takeaways that, you would like to leave with our listeners today.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say just keep in mind that most tools have focused on one-off text marketing without creating any value for your end customers. And this has generated an email-like approach that doesn't really have your customers' best interest at heart. So what we do at Cartloop is that we understand that people don't buy things because someone tapped them on the shoulder and told them to. We buy from people we trust, like, and with whom we're connected because on some deeper level, they understand us. So try to bring the real world experience of being in an online, in a store to the online medium, and try to, focus on channels that empower people to understand their audience better and deeper and connect with them fully. And this is how you'll be able to build quality connections through, one-to-one interactions. And just be good to your customers.
Yeah, for sure. So how can people learn more about your solution? Where can they go?
Yeah, so people can find us either on the Shopify App Store under Cartloop or on our website, Cartloop.io.
Okay, perfect. And I noticed too, being on the website right now, you do have a lot of content available too, like from an education perspective, some case studies and a few other details and stuff. So go and check that out. Maybe sign up to their newsletter, get involved with their SMS program, like with their chat widget in the corner. I think it's interesting that, you're there to educate and kind of help people. One thing to note too that I thought was great was that, you are GDPR and TCPA compliant. And so we're doing things the right legal way of being able to communicate with your customers, as far as data privacy is concerned. And so you have to get the legal opt-in. You have ways of doing it, I think, with your own modals, your own pop-ups. I've noticed a few brands that are using your tool, and I can see on the admin that they have opportunity in there to create, the right kind of opt-ins. You can use other different tools available in the market. Like you can use Klaviyo's opt-in if you wanted to, Just Uno, Privy. There's lots of tools out there that can help with exit intent and different ways of getting the legal opt-in, but you also have your own built into the platform. So I think that's fantastic. So just wanted to thank you for that. The other thing too is I know we kind of chatted a bit in the green room before recording today, and I understand that you would like to, I guess, give a listener-only offer or a listener-only bonus different than what's available currently in the Shopify App Store.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love for people to try out conversational SMS marketing. And that's why I'd be happy to offer for your listeners 2 months for free at Cartloop. So just install the app and text us via the live chat bubble in Cartloop, or, email me at lisa@cartloop.io.
Perfect. I'll make sure I update that in the show notes. So it'll be ecommercefastlane.com/Cartloop. That's going to redirect to your landing page over at Cartloop. And then that will be where you can, get all the details about this 2-month offer. Because right now it's only 14 days, but they'll be able to upgrade you now to 2 full months for free to actually enjoy it. And just get under the hood and see what it can do. Go through the onboarding sequence and just see how Lisa and her team are going to be able to support your brand. It's worth a test, because right now the answer is no, it's not for me, but you haven't tried it yet. So if you haven't tried it, you don't know it's not for you. There's lots and lots of brands that are using it. I'm in an admin of a few companies right now. I'm looking to see the success of a lot of campaigns, both on the Shopify core customers and on Plus side, and I can see success. So I know their platform is working. Yes, they're getting paid a very small amount of money to be able to help pull them over the line. But at the end of the day, when they're a customer, they're a customer. It's a small price to pay to have access to Lisa and her team and their technology over here to have that proper one-on-one communication. So I think that's fantastic. So ecommercefastlane.com/Cartloop. It'll be in the show notes, but go there and check that out. But, once again, I just wanted to thank you, Lisa, for, coming on the show today, like, as Shopify's mission really is to make commerce better for everyone. And I think it's clear that, you and the Cartloop team really are in tight alignment with wanting to help Shopify brands and improving efficiencies for sure by helping, outsource some of this one-on-one dialogue with potential customers. I know you're helping grow revenue, and that definitely equals lifetime customer loyalty because it's a very unique experience. So I just wanted to thank you for sharing your knowledge today and your platform and your vision, and just overall just giving back to the Shopify ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. Thank you so much for your words. And, also our mission is to enable human-driven communication between brands and shoppers. So I couldn't relate more with Shopify's mission and what you just mentioned.
Well said. All right. Well, have yourself, I'm going to have a great morning. You're going to have a great evening because our time zones are massively apart. But thank you so much for getting on this recording today.
My pleasure.
All right. Take care. Today's podcast is sponsored by Frontend, a powerful storefront solution from the team at Shogun. If you're tuned into the e-commerce space, and you likely are since you're a subscriber here at eCommerce Fastlane, you've no doubt heard about going headless or building a headless commerce storefront. And if you've gone as far as exploring some of these headless solutions, you know there's an incredible amount of info to wade through and to consider when making a storefront pivot. You may have heard that headless commerce means a move from a commerce-led to a content-led solution, or maybe you've heard that it represents a lean-in more towards an API-first approach. Either way, and as with any largely uncharted territory, it can be hard to work out what's growing faster, the technology or the terminology. The great thing about headless commerce is that it can get your Shopify store to load incredibly fast, eliminate the compromises when it comes to your brand's look and feel. You get full front-end control and flexibility, which will help you convert more of your website visitors. Amazing brands like Groove Life, Nomad, OneBlade, and so many more have taken their storefronts headless using Shogun's front-end platform. You can increase your conversion rate with a less than 1 second page load, and more importantly, you can empower your e-commerce team to manage content more efficiently with Shogun front-end. They truly are the next generation in e-commerce experience platform. Request a demo and see what this front end can do for your Shopify brand. You can check them out at getshogun.com. That's GETSHOGUN, getshogun.com/front end for more details. Well, that's it for today's episode. I'd like to thank you, a loyal listener of e-commerce Fastlane. It's my hope that this podcast is offering you a ton of value through growth strategies, tactics, and exclusive insider tips on the best Shopify apps and marketing platforms, all with my personal goal to help you build, launch, grow, and scale with Shopify. Thanks for investing some time today and listening to the show. I'm so proud and excited that you have a growth mindset and are a constant learner. I truly appreciate you and your entrepreneurial journey. Enjoy the rest of the week and keep thriving with Shopify.